Donald Trump held a press conference, I guess, slash rally near his Los Angeles golf course this past Friday, and almost immediately, the entire thing went off the rails because Donald Trump's mental problems are becoming far too great for anyone to ignore at this point. And one of the most telling signs of Donald Trump's continued cognitive decline was when he couldn't even read off the teleprompter as he tried to say Comrade Kamala. Now, I get that the alliteration sometimes for some people can be a little difficult, but here is what happened when Donald Trump attempted to say the words Comrade Kamala. Take a look.
I attribute to ICE and Border Patrol. They're incredible people. Not only is Comrade Howard, I mean, if you take a look at this, but not.
That's right, folks. Comrade, blah, 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 blah. He keeps going. Like you didn't just have one of the biggest public brain farts we have ever seen. And if you think that was bad, right, that was just the appetizer. The main course of this, whatever the hell you want to call it, was when Donald Trump decided to say that if he is elected president, he's basically going to cut off all aid for California wildfires because he hates Gavin Newscum, for one, because that's what he called him, and two, because California's just not opening up all the water. They have what he called, quote, dead water that they're just not letting people use. So here is Donald Trump going off for 3 minutes. I'm not going to show you the full 3 minutes, but for 3 minutes, he ranted about something he knows nothing about, which is water usage in California. Here he is.
Where the forests are so brittle, because no place is like California. I go to Austria. The head of Austria tells me, we have trees that are much more flammable than what you have in California. We never have forest fires because they maintain their forests. And you have all that water that could be used as water, what they call water flow, where where the land would be damp. And you'd stop many of these horrible fires that are costing billions and billions of dollars by the federal government, etc. So one thing I'm going to do for California, vote for me, California. I'm going to give you safety. I'm going to give you a great border. And I'm going to give you more water than almost anybody has. And the farmers up north are going to be able to use 100% of their land, not 1% of their land. And the water is going to come all the way down to Los Angeles. And you're going to have more water than you ever saw. And the smelt is not making it anyway. In fact, they make and grow smelt because it dies all the way up and down the line, and they put stuff that was artificially made. You know that. So you're going to have water in California at a level that you've never seen before. The farmers are going to do great. Those fields are going to be all green instead of 1% green. And maybe even more important, you're not going to have illegal immigrants pouring into your country and killing your family.
None of that made any sense. I mean, let's just get that right out of the way real quick. None of that made any sense at all. But here's the thing. Yes, does California have restrictions on water usage? Absolutely. Because they have endangered species, and that's the smelt he was talking about, by the way. And he's like, they just created it. No, that thing has actually been on the endangered species list for a few decades. So they're trying to preserve at least a little bit of water because even though it's a small fish with a short lifespan, it is actually vital to the ecosystems. And if you take one thing out of an ecosystem, it can have catastrophic effects all across the food chain. But Trump doesn't understand that, right? I mean, that's something you learn in, 5th or 6th grade science classes. And Donald Trump clearly was not paying attention back then. But either way, he doesn't care about the fish, kill the fish, water the forests. I guess we're going to put a massive sprinkler system out there after we vacuum them, as he had previously stated. But here's what gets me. He didn't address one of the biggest issues of water in California, something that, of course, has been going on for decades, and that, of course, is Nestle stealing their water. Nestle, for years and years and years, and this is something we have talked about at length at Ring of Fire. I have written countless articles about it over the years. Nestle has been taking water from California. They had this agreement saying we'd only take this much, and then they would absolutely just go over that and never faced any consequences because they were turning a massive profit. So you want to talk about water in California, you cannot have that conversation without talking about the devastation that Nestle, the Nestle Corporation, has caused in California for decades. You also can't have that conversation about fires and water shortages without talking about climate change, for God's sakes. But no, he still thinks that's a hoax perpetrated by the Chinese, right? The Chinese are sending all their dirty air over here, he told us a couple years ago. You can't talk about these issues without addressing the actual root causes of them. Climate change, corporate interference, and of course, sprinkled throughout there, some bad governance. Not saying that Gavin Newsom is responsible for that, but let's be real here. California kind of goes back and forth between Democratic governors, Republican governors, and most of them have not done a good job on this issue. And that's why they're in the situation they are today. But to threaten to cut off aid as the state burns to the ground, something I thought Republicans were concerned about, right? Y'all always talk about cities burning to the ground and how horrible it is. And now that we actually have it happening, we're like, nope, too bad, screw them, right? We hate California. Because that's what they'll do. Now, back to the main point here, Donald Trump's cognitive failings. If President Biden had gone out there and done even one of the many horrible things that Donald Trump did during that speech, the media would have been talking about it nonstop. Instead, the story or the part where Donald Trump couldn't pronounce Kamala's name, I couldn't find a single article about that. And I looked. The only reason I even saw that, of course, was because someone, Harry Sisson, posted a clip of it on Twitter. Now, if I hadn't been on Twitter at that point to see that clip, I wouldn't have known that that part happened. Because nobody decided to cover that part. Everybody covered the water part, because yeah, it's crazy, but you got to cover all of it together. Because it shows his cognitive decline. And of course, if Biden did one of those, if he couldn't pronounce Kamala Harris's name, you'd better believe every media outlet in this country would be talking about it for the next week. If he went out there and started talking about water and how they're not using the water's dead, which is what Trump said, you better believe the media would be covering it every single day for the next week and a half. Trump does it. It's just another Friday, right? Oh, we don't need to worry about him. Yeah, he's nutso. Yeah, he's crazy. But we're not going to talk about it. But the real thing that gets me here is not just the lack of media coverage. It's the fact that there are still apparently millions of people in this country who can watch that performance and still say, yep, that's my guy. He's making a hell of a lot of sense here. Those are the people we should probably be worried about. Those are the people that probably need a mental wellness check. Because it's not normal to look at somebody functioning like this and still stand behind them 100%. One of today's video sponsors is 8 Sleep. If you're like me, you struggle to not only fall asleep, but you also struggle to stay asleep throughout the night. And the big reason is because the temperature can't seem to stay correct. 8 Sleep is revolutionizing the way we sleep with their innovative sleep technology known as the Pod. If you add the Pod to your current mattress like a fitted sheet, it is automatically going to cool down or warm up each side of your bed. It's been clinically proven to give you up to 1 hour more of quality sleep every night. They've just launched the newest generation of the Pod 4 Ultra. The standout feature of the Pod 4 Ultra is its exceptional cooling capability. It can cool down each side of the bed to 20 degrees Fahrenheit below room temperature, ensuring you and your partner stay cool even through the hottest nights. There's nothing else like it on the market. Imagine being able to set your bed to the perfect temperature, as low as 55 degrees Fahrenheit, for each stage of your sleep cycle. The Pod's autopilot feature makes smart temperature adjustments throughout the night, enhancing your deep and REM sleep. Plus, you can leave your wearables on the nightstand. The Pod 4 Ultra's integrated and imperceptible sensors track your sleep time, sleep phases, RHV, and heart rate with 99% accuracy. And they also tell you how long you snore for and the intensity of your snoring. And best of all, the Pod 4 Ultra can be easily added to any bed. Whether you're an athlete, a business titan, or just someone looking to improve their sleep, the Pod 4 Ultra's cooling technology is an absolute game changer. I have been using 8 Sleep for a few weeks, and it has completely changed the quality of my sleep. I can actually sleep all the way through the night, wake up feeling normal again. This product is a life changer, and I mean that sincerely. So head to 8sleep.com/ROF and use the code ROF to get $350 off Pod 4 Ultra. They currently ship to United States, Canada, United Kingdom, Europe, and Australia. Again, that website is 8sleep.com/ROF, and make sure you use the code ROF to get $350 off the Pod 4 Ultra.